Hey folks, Taco here. Today we're doing something that's not traditional bonsai, but we're going to repot them and get them ready to go inside the restaurant I work at, Baker's Crust here in Ashburn, Virginia. So let's get into it. I'm going to swap to the other side so you guys can see what I'm working on better, but there's the first one. You guys have seen this one before. I've had it for a while. It doesn't look like a traditional arrowhead vine, but it does still look like a vine, certainly. The other one is a lot newer and a lot greener for several reasons. I like it. And they grow really strong. They grow in low light, so these are gonna be good for working at the restaurant. Let me swing on around. You guys will see what we're working with. So, first and foremost, scooting you all down. Got to get you all in on this. We'll start with the new one. Ooh, this one right here. So while I'm working on that, I'm gonna put that in the background. And first things first, got to get it out of the. Let me tilt you a little bit, give you some better light. There we go. It's almost like illuminated to get you all out of the container. So $14.99 was not, I think, this one originally, but it doesn't really matter because this has a lot of nice soil in it. Ooh. Can't recall the last time I repotted them, but fairly certain this one did not come in that container. Oh, and that is nice soil. I don't know if you can see inside the container there's lots of sand in there. So that's a good sign. All right, lots of water too. I didn't anticipate that. So let me see here. I've got to kind of break this up. Good roots all the way through. Oh yeah, this is definitely repotted by me. Look at that. That's nice. All right. Ooh. And now I think a lot of this will just fall off. Yeah, there we go. So very, very sandy. I think that worked well for it. I don't know that I'll be able to reuse most of this. Ooh, I also don't think I need to bare root or anything. I think I just need to get it a little bit closer to good. So that's where I'm probably going to leave it as far as most things are concerned. Real nice roots there, I think. Yeah, real nice. I am not going to reuse this drainage screen today, but I will reuse it in the future. Ooh, hi, again. Off camera here, we got little Lucy just saying hi. All right, well, that was really easy. Before I start on the other one, I'm going to put this to the side. It's got nice moist roots, and I'm going to see if I can pull the other one out just as easy. If I can, oof, and I'll just dump all this soil at once. Oops. Definitely not upset about that one. This one might be a little more complicated. Ooh, I'm not sure. Ooh, ooh. All right, well, not really much of a drainage screen at all. I didn't have one in there, but very similar soil, which is kind of what I had wanted to do. Ooh, not nearly as many roots. They are good, the ones that are here. Not upset about them. Arrow root here, still looking good. Yeah, I think still kind of looking good here. Yeah. This is a very strong root base. Ooh, including this aerial root. Ooh, just gotta be tamed out a little bit, you know? A lot of these will just be tamed out and let to grow. And this is actually gonna be a good step towards it being a real bonsai too, because I'm gonna put these in a shallower container, both of them. Not a larger container, just a shallower one. I don't need them to be huge. They're a good size, shape, and health for me and for the place that I want to put them in the restaurant. So, seeing how easy that all was, I'm going to put this off to the side, and I'm going to try to get rid of some of this soil real quick before we get started. I've got some of it down the front of me too, so that was a nice little surprise, you know? All right. Oof. I just went and got a trash can. I probably need a bigger trash can for most of this, but you guys are going to go on a little magic carpet ride, because what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to keep you on here while I dump it. Or should I? I might save this. I don't like the soil per se. I might save it. Let me put this in my to be baked container instead, which happens to fit in the top of the trash can. So it's not a bad transition there. We don't want to waste all this soil. It could be good. It is good soil for what I'm doing, technically. All right. Ooh. So here we go. Going on a little ride here. It's not get as much of this into trash can as possible. Well, not trash can, but used. I can sift this later, get the fines out. But ooh, you guys get to see the very first person view. I'll clean out this. All right. Ooh. Very nice. Not upset about that at all. Ooh. Arrange back in there. And time to address the bowls. So it's not teeny tiny. It's, you know, as big as my hand, about. But I love that it's got this nice, like, dark texture to it. I already put a hole in the bottom. The inside's pretty, but I think the outside will look really cool. The two of these, especially in a dark restaurant, a dark themed restaurant, I think it's just the right amount of everything. So let's see if I guessed right as far as what they'll look like. So I think that will look cool, of course. And I think that will also look really cool once I've trimmed them up a little bit more. Yeah, I think that's a good fit. All right, well, this one came out second, so we'll work on the other one first. I've got to do two things here. I've got to get myself another drainage screen because I didn't hang on to that one. That's fine because I have sheets everywhere I can cut out of. Ooh. Grab one of those. One of these sheets right here. I'm going to cut a little circle out of it because I don't need a whole lot. In fact, I might not even do a circle. I'll make just two squares. Because it doesn't really have to be perfect, you know? I think that'll be fine. Let's just make sure. Yeah, I don't see why that wouldn't work. Cool. I'll do one more of those before I give up. I am not going to do anything as far as wiring them in, tying them down. These are pretty deep as far as bonsai goes, so not a concern there. Oops. I keep bumping you guys. You guys are really getting a roller coaster ride here. All right, so I've got to work on this guy. I'm not upset about any of these. What I do have to do is I have to trim them all down. There's no problem at all. Get them all to a good length. All right. Excellent. Put some in there. Now what I want to do, now it all fits real nice, but I still want to think about making these roots spread out some. Now, I don't think I can do anything with a rock, but I almost feel like I want a rock in there. All right. Whew. I'm going to use some of the sandy soil at the bottom just to start the process, weigh it down. You saw it came right out of these plants, and I think it's going to be a good application of it since it really likes this nice sandy stuff. All right. I like you can kind of see Uzi right there. Say hi. You're very handsome, dude. You are. All right. So now that that's in there, I'm going to get some more regular soil in there. And this is the stuff that I'm reusing that's been baked. Should work very, very nicely. It's a lot drier, of course. But I think it'll be good. A couple scoops of that. And then the hard part is definitely going to be getting this all spread out. Oof. You guys can see very well. Or if you want to. Ooh, let's see if you can see. Not very easily. So yeah, I'm trying to get these all kind of out. Soil pick here to kind of get them out a little bit. Again, doesn't have to be perfect. This one get a little bit closer to that nice sweeping pattern that we look for. I'm not upset with that right there. So I'm going to start filling in. Now these are not good for bonsai. They're very good houseplants. And really I'm using them as a houseplant now. But I am still keeping in mind I can use some techniques on these. They're traditionally reserved for bonsai. An example, of course, is arranging those roots that way and changing the container. A little shallower of a container will give these a little bit more spread. They are better at spreading and they are going vertical. And for that, you can see how those roots develop is really, really nice for a single base or a clump style single base. Yeah, really pleased with that so far. Let's get in here and do a little bit of getting it all in there. Not sure how much you guys can really see. Yeah, and I'm not going to worry about lifting. This is already pretty well done there. I'm just going to try to get all this soil in. It's nice and tight. And I will leave a little bit of these roots exposed. My reasoning for that is that they're pretty. They're really pretty. I like the way they look. Not sure if you guys can hear me scooching this thing across the leaf. Don't want that, of course. It's a big piece, but we'll see how it does. That looks like it was a piece of this that fell off. There are some dead sections. I did let this dry out a little bit more than even it likes to do at a later or an earlier date. But, yeah, so far, so good. So I'm gonna really just pack all this in there. Really trying to make sure I've got it all filled in. I really don't want to have any air gaps, even though I think this thing will do a pretty good job of filling them in. I don't want them in the first place. So, yeah, I probably need to get another turntable. Just haven't done it yet. All right, that's one of the leaves off of this guy. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a little top dress into the stand again. It is really nice stuff for these plants. I'm just gonna give it a nice little, roll around and pat. I don't need to go crazy on filling it in so much as getting the top covered. So it, keep on going. Yeah, all right. Not bad. I'm gonna give it a little pressing with the thumbs just to make sure. Now it's a rounded bowl, so I have to be careful I don't press it out of the bowl. And very, very exact. There we go. So, not the prettiest here, but not bad. I'd say that's ready to go on a shelf in a restaurant. So, that is one done. Put it there. I think it's a better looking bowl anyways. And now we've got to work on the second here. Now, this is technically the first for me. This one is a very significant plant in comparison. I love it, but we had to do a lot of trimming here. So I'm going to start down about the same level. Just cut everything off. And there's a lot more roots coming off in this case. Of course, I'm keeping in mind that I've got roots in every which direction. Ooh. While I'm in here, I'm pulling off any dead leaves and things like that. Yeah, you can see all this, a lot more roots. Now, does it fit? It does, but I think it's still a little too long. So I'm going to give it a little bit more. Now, this is not a dwarf variety like the other one is, which is fine. Doesn't need to be. But it is definitely a healthier, older plant in some ways. Just a little more. And you can see I've already started on the roots here. They've started to become nice and radial. So I don't know if this will end up being something really cool. It'll just be another house plant, but I have no obligation to try. I'm just doing it because it's fun. And see, I'm trying to get some of these a little more radial. Ooh. I'll pull out some of the old soil that's in here. Make sure everything's all loose, There's not a whole lot of soil left over. So move that over. Make sure my bowl is empty. And I'm going to do the same thing with this one. I'm going to do some scooping of the wet sandy stuff. Create a very high base layer this can grow into. I don't scoop too deep. This one I will probably plant a little bit higher. All right. Ooh. All right. All right. Here we go. See, and some of these don't want to be helped into place. It's very frustrating, but it's very interesting, So like this one, when I tuck it in, it hits that side. So I've got to scoot a little bit more to that side. This one's almost too big for the container. This one's a little too long, so I'm going to take it off a little bit farther up. Ooh, so that I can let it grow out. This one too, a little too long, so I've got to just give it a little trim there. I might just tuck it in here, let it try to grow straighter. All right, on this side again, I got some that are too long. Cut those off. Another one here. This one wants to grow the side, so it's good that I cut it even further back. All right, I think I've got all my roots pretty much in place. Nope, not quite. And two that are trying to grow a long way. That one's a nice length. This here a little bit long, so we're gonna pull them out and just give them a little oof. There we go. All right, now I think I'm in a place where it's time to fill in with the good soil, then top with sand. So this one, I can't remember how many years I've had it, but I think this might be one of my older houseplants. Yeah, it's hard to say exactly. I had it for a while though. Surely had it for a while. And I hadn't yet given it away because I really like this one. But at some point, you got to think about making room. And it's not really lost to me. I get to appreciate it still. It'll just be at the restaurant I work at versus my own home. And I'll still have to water it once a week at least. And actually, they're twice a week now, so Wednesdays and Thursdays. If anybody's here in Ashburn, if you don't already know, that's when you'd find me there. Many of you who follow me, or a few of you at least that follow me as a subscriber, are from the area. I appreciate you all. Shout out to Jack. I think you followed me from the restaurant. And that is really awesome that you do. There's a couple of you who have. Logan was one of those. And keep going. There's at least a couple people from the restaurant that follow me. And those people who have worked with me over the years or are very good friends, or we have mutual friends, they just come to see me and then found out I did bonsai. So unfortunately, it wasn't that they found me from bonsai and came to see me at the restaurant. That would be very prestigious. I know recently I celebrated, speaking of prestige, I celebrated 1 year on YouTube, which I thought I would not be still making videos after a year. I thought I would have fizzled out, but everyone kept me motivated. Everyone kept me very well included and made me feel like a member of a community and welcomed me into the culture. So it looks like it's kind of trying to tuck itself under. I can pull it out a little bit. Not quite. That's all right. Sometimes these do that. So thank you to all of you. And I recently crossed over 400 subscribers, which I'm blown away by. Thank you all, every single one of you. And one of my regular videos, like the recent one of my ginseng ficus, just crossed over 1,000 views. I've never had 1,000 views on a regular video, only on a short before. So that one has 1,000.1 views, I think, last time I looked at it, which is incredible. It means that people are paying attention, and that is not just my community of subscribers. That's clearly people who saw it and thought it was cool. So it showed up somewhere. Someone shared it, and it really became nice and popular. So thank you very much, whoever you are that shared that. If it was shared, and to everyone who watched that video, all those 1.1 thousand people, I'm so flattered, so humbled, because I don't think that anything I do is very remarkable, but I try to do it my own way at least. So at least everything I do is individual. One day I'd love to have remarkable trees. I'm just not at that level yet because, of course, I'm a beginner. No matter how many years I've been doing it, I've been practicing with any kind of knowledge, so I'm still a beginner. All right, again, just like the last one, I'm filming with sand to make sure I've got a nice top dressing. Sand's nice and moist, and I've got a layer of not so moist soil on the inside here. I do not want that. But what I'm going to do, I hope it works, I'm going to soak these both up. I do not want to be bringing mealybugs or pests into the restaurant. I want all the things there to be very, very clean. All right, I would say that's well potted. And Uzi has gotten tired of me talking, so he's already walked to the other side. I am going to use this tray to water with, so I'm not watering into nothing. And I think you can see it's not a bad looking little houseplant. So, get my watering can. You all know my American watering can, the gas can. That's all I seem to be able to do is throw gas on the fire, never water. Sometimes the way these plants grow, I feel like I'm throwing gasoline on them instead of water because they just don't like it. Had a couple trees recently, including my dinner plate Aurelia. It just doesn't like me. So here we go. We're going to water in real nice. Oh, I know what to do with this. I have to zoom in, don't I? Zoom in, and I have to show you guys exactly what's going on, don't I? There we go. All right. We like to see it watered in real nice. Give it a little turn. Water it some more. Really get that in there. Ooh. And then I'll spray these with soap and water. Water them again. So, as you can see, really nice free draining soil. It's coming out the bottom quite quickly. There's just one big hole, but it's coming out quite nicely. So I'm going to put this one off to the side. Let it drain the rest of the way while I water in the next one. I didn't think this through, and now I've got a whole bunch of water coming out of this, so I'm going to borrow the bottom of that. All right, now it's time for this one. This one, of course, is going to be a little more tricky to water, but I think I can figure it out. Again, this actually works nicely. That. Turn. Water some more. Really let it soak in. And these Synjosium, these Arrowhead plants really like free draining soil, and they like to dry out a little bit. So you really want to water these every once in a while. And if you're going as a bonsai, it's very convenient. These are some of my few plants that have thrived through my neglect. All right, so I think that's just about done it. Let me go back to the view of me. Right now you guys are staring at all my plants, and you don't know what's going on with me, right? Where'd Taco go? He's hiding. Sound like Tom here. But what can you do, right, Tom? All right. As I got water all over, here we go. So now I've got two. I think they're beautiful. Someone might disagree with me. Let's see if I can get away with this real quick. Maybe not. All right, we'll leave that one in the bowl there. But yeah, I think I've got two quite beautiful Synjosiums here. One of which is more of a house plant, but it looks nice, I think. And then one of which here that is quite beautiful as a sort of start to the bonsai reminiscent houseplant. So that is it for this episode of TacoBonsai. The next episode you guys see will be another repotting. I think I'm going to have to repot all my coffee trees into a forest planting in order to better manage the pests on those, because they are absolute pest magnets. Not a lot of updates other than that. Things are growing, things are waking up. I've got a lot of work to do as far as that goes, and also on the farm. So the update that comes will probably be filmed about on time, but I'll try to get this one uploaded today. I'm going to a meeting later. I'm going to bring these with me and see how they're received. If they don't like them, I'll keep them. I really like the way that they repotted, and I really love the way that these containers accent the plants in the way that I've intended. Is it the perfect container for these? Probably not, but considering the maximum size of these, and this one's a dwarf variety, so it'll have smaller leaves. This is a much larger leaf, as you can see, and it's still growing. There's new leaves coming out here all over the place. But I think it's a really good size and shape container for these plants, and I'm really excited to see how they develop into the future. So everyone take care of yourselves. I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.